Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Team USA 40K podcast. I'm joined by Anthony Vanella as we are hanging out at the twilight of 10th edition.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the end of this edition. Finally free.
Yeah, we're not even at the beginning of the end. We're at the end of the end. We're at the everybody knows
That's true.
it's Jover.
Yeah, it's finally stopping. I can stop staring at Satan.
Oh, don't worry. There's a crab waiting for you. So
That's great. And I get to be in the crab, John. I guess I got to be in the Satan. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy. I've kind of lost the thread.
We are here talking about our experiences as leadership for Team USA 40K as we kind of go through the summer preparing for the WTC, the World Team Championships. And so we are one step closer, one big step closer actually, in that we have chosen our roster for Team USA for this next year. And we're really close to 11th edition coming out
Just
because
just right there, man.
it's
Just
just
so
right there.
close.
It's like the 11th edition rules are online if you speak French. The 11th
Yes.
edition rules are like 70% online if you use ChatGPT. There's a couple of words that it got wrong, but we don't need to worry about that.
You
You
don't think
can,
that that one that you've seen all over the place is really the rules?
you know what? I don't think people have seen the slut keyword yet on
Yeah,
any
yeah,
of the
yeah.
issues, and you know what? No promises for the future. We'll see what they snuck into the first codexes. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's still there. The lore's taken a really sharp turn in 11th edition. I don't know if people caught that yet.
The Emperor's
Uh,
Children's the 3rd book, dude.
Absolutely. I mean, you can even see games of 11th edition like being played
Yep.
online. Like it's the end of May. The edition comes in June. Like we're basically there, other than the part where you get to play it.
Yeah. You can slowly get drip fed rules to get mad about. That's their current marketing strategy.
It happens every time. We're kind of at the calm before the storm is the theme, and how we deal with it and how we're preparing is going to be the theme for today's episode.
Yes, sir. The little bit in between. We've been pretty bad, honestly, historically, about actually taking a break at this point. Um, this will be one of the, you know, only times really in my memory of our time on the team that we're like actually taking a break.
Yeah, look, we're trying something new, right?
Yeah.
We've tried going full sprint from how do we say this? From October through August before.
Yeah.
And I think that worked really well for like 6 months. I don't know
Yeah.
if it worked well for 9 months though.
I think if you started it 3 months in, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard when you have to do selection, man.
Yeah. So this is about the journey, and we're gonna talk about team selection because we just completed that quite recently earlier this month. But it's really hard to like justify taking a break because it's one of those things where you kind of have to ask the team to put in equal effort, right? You can't
Yep.
say some people try hard, some people don't try. That's not really good in any team building environment. And so, ideally you have everyone working hard if anyone's working hard. I think that's right just for like team cohesion, that's what you
Yeah.
want to have. Everyone takes a break at the same time. So it's not retail. I don't need someone covering the floor. Like if we're not at an event, I don't need anyone to work hard.
Yeah. Please, in fact, optimally don't work at all.
Yeah. But now because we're in that there's your practice games don't matter. We have selected a team. We have a pretty laid back May as far as the actual Warhammer part goes, although that doesn't stop people from going above and beyond. You want to talk about the sprint or the selection or the break?
Um, let's do them in order, man. Why don't we do it that way?
The sprint. So we talked about home nations last episode in episode
Yep.
one, and we very much have had a really good team this year, a very hardworking team that's kind of been just going at it from like team selection, which was in November, December. I think end of November, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
think I think end of November, early December through April, because end of April was when we had home nations, and so we were practicing, we were scrimmaging, everyone's trying really hard. We were 10th editioning as good as we could, And once we were done, there was this kind of like, well, there's nothing to do because we all know 11th edition's coming, and we all know that WC is not going to be 10th edition. And so there was this kind of this calm of like an anxious calm of we all know that there's nothing else we can do. But if we select later, then we're all going to be really anxious before that point because we had the dates of selecting our final 8 roster a little bit nebulous, as in I would choose later. And so we could have gone as late as like the second week of June, which would theoretically be after most, like some, most, maybe all of 11th edition was dropped, but we're not really sure on the timeline. And then we're just like sitting on it for a month where we haven't selected. And so, I talked to the extended roster, and we pretty much all were in agreement that we would actually rather select sooner rather than have this nebulous month where everyone wanted to do more to kind of earn their spot.
but
Because if,
really couldn't.
but you really couldn't, yeah, like because everyone wants to do everything they can, and everyone wants to start, and everyone wants to, and understandably, it's a room full of competitive players. Everyone wants to compete, and so this idea of like not taking the time off before the decision, no one really wanted to. So we moved
Yeah,
the decision up so that we could actually take some time off. So we ended up having our team selection middle of May instead of early June, pushing it up about 3 weeks forward from where it realistically could have been, which I think is totally fine. It means that we weren't making the choice in the context of whose army got better in 11th.
right.
But I think that idea works better in a not edition change year anyway, because it's a lot easier to be like, ah, yes, a June balance update. The Repulsor Executioner has gone down 20 points. Ultramarines are good. They are now probably better. That's a little easier than, and now the hidden mechanic. How do marker lights work with hidden? I don't know. We'll
Right.
find out in June.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Rinse, repeat ad nauseum across all 20 whatever factions.
yeah, do that 26 times, and also we don't know what the points are yet. Great. um,
Awesome.
yeah, it's hard to work in these conditions. It's hard to live, laugh, love in these times.
Yep.
And so we had team selection, bumped up a little bit early, and we went off everyone's body of work through 10th edition, which I it's honestly it's both my favorite and least favorite part of the year personally. Um, as I didn't love selection as a player, even when I was pretty confident I was going to make it. And I've been fortunate that every year I've been a member of Team USA, I've been selected to play. So I've been very lucky in that perspective. But I always hate that you feel like going into selection that there's more than 8 people who think they either could or should start, and there's just the practical logistics of we can only do 8.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's nerve-wracking every time. Even with, a similar situation, right? Like, I've started all 5 of the years that I've been, like, a member of the team.
Hmm.
Um, but every time it's like, "Oh, maybe not." You kinda keep it together, you show a strong game face, but, there's always a little bit of like, "Oh, maybe, dude." Uh, um, what if this is the year that the TTS grinders finally have slipped ahead?
Yeah,
They,
it will
like,
happen at some
have
point.
4,500 hours on TTS. Um, the, yeah, so, yeah, I definitely feel this year was probably the hardest selection has been since we've been on the team. Um,
Yeah. This was the hardest time I personally had voting, and that's I think we have a really really good roster this year, and I think this is also a real downside of being such a large country with such a large population as
sure.
Team USA, where I feel like there's plenty of good players that aren't competing for the starting spot in the country because we have such a large player base, but then also just like in the room we just have enough good players that I could make 2 rosters that I think are like just legit WTC teams.
Right, right, yeah, for sure.
So on the one hand, this is like my least favorite because I hate being at this time of the year making. I I'll make the decisions. I'll cast the votes, and this is a vote which we'll be talking about. But I don't like making hard decisions. I like making easy decisions.
Sure.
But I do love what selection means, which is that almost every decision I make post selection is about Warhammer, and we are
Yep.
getting dangerously close to the part of the season where the only thing I'm responsible for as captain is the Warhammer parts. And that is my favorite time of the year.
Look, it's a good time, you know?
Yeah. Look, I play to my strengths. You know this, Anthony.
Yeah, that's fair, man.
I like the Warhammer part of this.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's an ever challenging thing for me to stay as enthusiastic as you are about the Warhammer parts.
Yeah.
So,
The grind continues. But we made it through selection, and the Team USA selection process was a little bit different this year than what we've done in the past. And so I don't think last episode we really like specifically outlined how we do it, did we?
I don't honestly remember.
That's totally fine because it doesn't take that long to summarize, right? So we might as well do it.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
So what we did this year was we cut our roster of last year starters and our 16-person academy. We cut that down to a roster of 12 back in I want to say March. And that we called the extended roster. And so this year what we did was we had the extended roster plus some coaches do a ranked choice vote, and from that we pulled the first 4 starters. And what that uniquely meant was that we could actually lead to a position where first year members of the team were eligible to cast votes for who was starter, which they did. And
Yep.
so in the past, it has very much been a, you know, the veterans know best, the people who have been to WTC know best. And that's not something you can ever like prove. We just have been operating under that. But this year we opened it up, and so there were members who are first year on the team able to cast votes.
Yep.
And once that the roster of 12 picks a 4, the 4 plus the head coach, Mr. Andrew Gagno, the godfather of Team USA, those 5 people select a 5th starter, add him to the chat, select a 6th starter, add him to the chat, add a 7th starter, add to the chat, 8th starter, done. That's the roster. And so we have followed that process, and we have produced an 8-player roster for who's going to start for WTC this year.
Yes, sir.
All right. So in no particular order, um the 3 new members of the team who have not started for Team USA in the past are Brian Daughtry, Wesley St. Hines, aka Nemo the Fish, and Zach Point. Really excited for all of them. First time starting at WTC is always like a really special thing. So I'm really excited for all of them to be there and to compete. They each and every one of them, had impressive runs throughout the year, has had some impressive tournament results. I mean, we saw Wesley win, LVO. We saw Brian Daughtry, playing at the top tables of Adepticon, Nova. I've seen Zach Point basically hit the podium or top 8 of about
Most of them at
half
this
of the
point.
super majors I've
Yeah.
seen in the US.
Yep.
It's always like, "Oh, hey,"
There is
let me look
again.
up how the metas are, like, "Oh, hey, Zach was there. Oh, Zach did pretty good." Um, and so it's really, really exciting to see the new performers and the new faces on the team. And then they'll be joining some veterans to the team, which will be myself, Anthony, will both be starting this year, as well as Folger Piles, the last year's champion, Sam Pope, and Brian Sipe. And that forms an 8, which is I think a really, really good squad. I don't think we had bad options, but I'm really excited just to see um this version of the team's going to do, right? Because that's always the like, every version is the same, right? We've always had a couple of new members every year, so it's always a different feel to each team year in year out. Which since this is both of our 5th time, right? We've done it. Yeah, we've done
Yes,
it
this will
4.
be our
This is
5th
number
year.
5.
Yep.
Woo, buddy.
Getting
um,
up there, dude. Long in the tooth.
I know. And at a certain point, we stopped being the new kids on the block, and now we're the 2 longest running members of the team consecutively.
Yes, someone called me the old guard like a couple months back, and I like almost fell over.
Yeah, that cuts deep, doesn't it?
It didn't feel good.
Hmm. Back in my day, I was the up and comer, and
Yeah, shakes fist.
yeah, up came. old
Yeah,
guard.
well, I'm still working on it, you know?
True, true. Yeah, it's still a lot to achieve. So yeah, so really really excited. And you know, it's again, it's tough because I think we had a lot of people who worked really really hard this year, and so it's one of those things that where sharpens iron. We had we had so many people on another level this year that I think it made the team stronger as a whole, and so I'm really hoping that that'll have an impact on the results we produce. But you know, kind of got to wait till August to find out, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll know soon enough.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but first we'll have 11th, right?
That is oh, that is true.
Mhm. I I know that you and I are two sides of the same coin on this. I'm really excited for the 11th stuff that we've seen.
I am sort of. I broadly view it positively in for the folks that were already on GW boards, you know?
True. Yeah. It is going to be a really big change for the people who only play WTC.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so much, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
funny you mentioned that actually.
yeah, um, yeah, it's a lot different, dude. I don't really have another way to say it other than just, good luck.
Yeah, I'm that I think that's going to be one of the interesting things here. So, what we've seen so far of 11th edition is actually quite a lot. Again, I'm not going to say anything that hasn't already been on Warcom, so if you're listening attentively, don't worry. I'm pretty good at this.
Yep.
Um, we've seen a lot of the rules changes on 11th edition, and we know that they're not doing an indexing of the game. And what I've kind of observed based on everything they're previewing from 10th to 11th as opposed to ninth to 10th for people who've done the transition is that ninth to 10th felt like a lot of the core parts of the game were the same and all of the changes revolved around the units.
Okay.
Because I think what we had in ninth from ninth to 10th was that like characters could join units again, right? I'm pretty sure ninth characters just like didn't join units.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
just
correct?
floated, dude. I mean, that was when I was, doing most of my, actually playing competitive. Yeah, they were just a thing.
And and like OC characteristics didn't exist. And obviously we're using different train formats and different secondaries and things. But like the main changes from ninth to 10th felt like it was for the units and for the missions.
Yeah.
And from 10th to 11th, the um the secondaries feel from what they've previewed, like it's the same thing. Like it's different, but the difference between 10th, 11th secondaries is like the same difference as what was between the three different secondary decks we worked with in 10th edition, right? This is
Right.
just like a fourth one of those. It's the same thing.
Yep.
The primary super different, but it feels like the core rules have actually changed a lot more. Like we're seeing a lot of more different changes to the core rules with the same units, whereas before it felt like the core was the same, but the units were different.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't, right? There was some mechanics that they added with the bones of 10th that
Mhm.
were big shakeups, right?
I'm
Um,
sure there's some massive changes that I've completely forgotten about.
well, just like
Um,
dev wounds used to not exist.
oh yeah, sorry, I forgot because I couldn't hear over my Kazakin firing their hot shot weapons with
Yeah,
lethal hit.
I mean,
Yeehaw!
I mean, even that though wasn't really dev wounds, right? Like that was there was Immortals in addition that was kind of capped. That could only really do so much.
That is
Even
true. It is
I
Mortals
don't
in
even think we
addition.
would blink at the amount. Like if you were just yeah, that was a dev wound activation, and that was the old Castrican activation that made us weep.
That is true. The old Kazakin activation that made people just like cry for their mothers, eventually got capped at 6 mortal wounds, but
Yeah,
before that, it was averaging like 8 or 9.
but even that's you
I
know,
did take 15 mortal wounds from a pair of autocannons off a Defiler earlier today.
yeah, in Overwatch no less.
Yeah, well, you know, now that you mentioned that, that
It's
wasn't
tough,
great.
man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that the transition from 10th to 11th is actually going to be bigger than the transition from ninth to 10th for players.
I can see that being true. I mean, yeah, so I mean, because I feel like me and to a lesser extent you at that point from going from ninth to 10th we're kind of in our transitioning into teams land anyway. We
True.
were kind of playing our own game by playing on WTC boards, so that transition didn't feel too crazy.
Mhm.
Imagine if WTC had been on GW train at the start of 10th, and there was like release Wraith Knight Overwatches and shit, right?
Oh yeah.
Just completely untenable on a GW board, but playable on a WTC board at the time for the armies that could do it.
I don't really like thinking about that time of the year actually.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody did, man. That was a rough couple of months.
Yeah, it really was. But yeah, I guess I think because you're right. I was certainly transitioning from competing seriously at singles to I will travel to one or two singles events a year.
Right.
I don't think I've traveled to three. I don't think I've like traveled outside of like a drive. I don't think I've flown to three singles events in a year in 10th edition.
No. I was looking the other day, dude. Do you know how many GTs I've done in 10th edition?
I would guess that you've done six.
Wow. Hit it in one.
There you
What a banger, dude. Hell yeah.
go.
That's pretty impressive.
I've been tracking.
Yeah.
You had two Cali Cups, you had one WCW, you had the Alpha Legion one.
I did have the Alpha Legion one, correct?
I know that you had one other World Leader one, I just couldn't remember it. Then I added one just in case.
And then you added one just in case. That's fair. Yeah.
And there I was.
At 6. Bang on in the first try.
I've done more than six.
Yeah, I would bet.
Like yeah, if we're looking at GT level, I doubt I've done more than 15 in 10th edition, which is really low. Again, I had seasons where I would do 15.
Y-
But a lot
Yeah.
of team events nowadays.
I mean, the team events just take up time, right? They take up time in prep. They take up time in, that you would otherwise be using on singles events.
True indeed. They also take up money that I would otherwise be using on singles events.
True.
So does getting married, but that's been worth it.
I mean, it all comes with a cost.
Indeed, dude. I'm now understanding how the old card slowed down back when I was an up and comer.
Yeah, you're like, why did
Uh,
they
s-
ever stop?
yeah, I was like, oh, this is why I got it. I do like spending time with my wife.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I think this transition is gonna actually be a little bit less natural for people. I think this is gonna take a little bit more time to get used to.
Yeah,
I've
the
been
edition just seems
enjoying.
a bit clunky. Like it's just a bit, at least if you're expecting like a 10th edition experience, you are certainly not getting that.
Yeah, I think getting it on the table is gonna be like the real test. Some of
Right.
it like looks clunky, and then I started like doing it and like looking at it and like what it would mean. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought that the new wound allocation, which again they showed off at
The
the
games,
kind of
yeah.
the preview games. I thought that was like super clunky. I'm like, man, that's awful. And when I started like rolling it, I was like, oh, this is actually like this is actually faster.
I think it'll
Like
be
it's
faster
weird.
once people let go of the like hard and fast rules they have in their head, right?
Yeah, I think the transition is going to be a little bit rough for a lot of people, but I think I like what they've shown so far to the point where I'm actually pretty confident. Every edition change is always like everyone's like, oh, I missed the last one. Like,
Right.
man, these brimstone horrors are 2 points each. Man, the game was so much better, you know, 3 months ago, and I didn't have to pay any points for them. It's like,
Well, it's
okay,
like, all right, dude.
like sure. Um, I do think though that I think after like 3 months, I do think 11th is actually gonna be pretty sweet. I'm actually really looking forward to it. To the point, and it's easy to say now where I'm considering going back on the single circuit for a year, just to
Oh shit.
yeah, I really want to go just like hit a couple super majors at some point
That's fair.
between. It's been a while. I want to go see what happened. It's been a minute.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, but yeah, it's a really interesting thing. But when we're kind of facing all of these changes that we can't necessarily act on yet, it's a really interesting thing for a team that has for so long been a we are grinding and working hard the entire time, and
Yeah,
we
I
are
mean,
explicitly trying not to do that this year.
even in the gaps between events, it's usually us working on the next one, right? And especially for like people like you and I that went to both of our prep events.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Yeah. You and I were at both Home Nations and Pyra, so we had to prepare for both. We didn't really have a break for either of those. Um, and staring down the barrel of 11th edition, especially once we had locked in a date um for selection, what I told people was just to stop preparing. Even before selection, it was like, hey, it's early May. We're gonna pick in mid May. Um, stop. Just relax. You don't like. There's no games you can play in the next week or two that are gonna like matter.
that are gonna move this needle. Yeah,
Yeah, like at this point, your practice game's 10th edition. It's fine. I don't care. Go buy a video game. Go spend time with your spouse, and like right that's been the focus.
right.
I have played one game of 10th edition in the past month.
Yep.
I would have to go double check to make sure that's true. I might have been got, and I no, I think it might be two.
I have not played any. I have not played 10th since Home Nations.
Yeah, so you've had over a month of haven't played a game of Warhammer.
Yep.
I'm like actually curious if I've done two. Um, I think it was. Yeah, no, I think
Very
I've
technically,
had
I've been
one.
playing a Warhammer game, but it's been Darktide.
Fair. Confirmed singular game, one game.
Nice, dude.
I'm like, all right, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
So very much spending less time on it. Obviously, for work, I'm still doing Warhammer stuff, so I'm certainly staying in touch because I have to do a live video on YouTube for Art of War every time we've got a preview article and more comment, blah 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 blah. But a lot less of my personal time devoted to playing Warhammer.
right.
And I know that's the same for a lot of guys. Like I don't think Folger has played a game of Warhammer in the last month.
No, it's
Um,
been quite a
a
while.
couple have been kind of pursuing the events anyways. I know Zach went to the Warhammer Open in Dallas. A couple members of the team did. Shout out to Ben Jurek who made it all the way to the finals. Repping the Team USA jersey on stream as the
King
last
Ben,
hope
dude.
against the big tall man.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been really interesting having a down period for Team USA because we haven't tried that ever, and I think getting everyone into what we expect to be an 11th edition grind, a new edition. All right, all hands on deck. We have to play a bunch of games now. Having people come into that relatively fresh, I think is going to be more of a benefit than the actual momentum.
I think that's true too.
Yeah, that's certainly the hope, right? Maybe we'll find out that everyone became bad at Warhammer when they stopped playing for 1 month, but
Uh,
I'm
uh,
really optimistic that's not going to be the truth.
that'd be really tragic though if it was true.
I I would be despondent. I don't know what I would do if I just like took a month off, came back, and was actively bad at Warhammer. Like,
Yeah, just couldn't get it together.
look, if I lose too many practice games, I will step down and just be a non-playing captain. But fair warning, it's going to have to be a lot of losses.
A lot of games. Yeah, that's fair. If
It's
you
going to have to
just
be a
can't
lot.
figure it out, dude,
If I can't figure it out, I can't figure it out.
your
So,
ability to play 10th will be as bad as your
yeah,
initial takes on on Eldar Codexes.
not still there, please. Right, my initial take on 11th was that it looks pretty cool. So check
Oh
back for me
no,
for some.
no,
Oh,
no, no.
yeah, I'm certainly famous for how accurate my first takes are.
John, you're not even allowed to listen to John's first takes, honestly. Like you can listen to his second takes, maybe.
I just need like one game. I just
Yeah,
need like
he's just gotta see it move around.
yeah. Did I did I say that I wasn't sure if I would actually take a Defiler at 250?
Yep. You also said that the Wardens of Ultramar were terrible. I remember you shit talking them up, down, and sideways.
Hmm. That actually sounds kind of familiar now that you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did say that.
Yeah.
Well,
The tricks you were like, they might be okay. And that's when I knew we were fucked.
uh, it's so good though.
They are pretty solid, man. That is how I would describe them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I love me some Victrix now. That part's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean that's some pretty fair critique. So don't trust me on first takes. I think
Just
that's
look, just
the
give him one game. Just give him a little dry run, dude.
Yeah, just one game for me to make sure that I'm not completely talking out my
Lost.
butt. So yeah, so we're as we're staring down the barrel on this one, um, what have you been doing instead? Just Dark Tide, spending
I
time with Anna?
I played a bunch of Darktide. I spent some time with Anna. I went to a concert.
Ooh,
I did a bunch of adulting stuff that I would normally expect a 30-year-old person to have together, but it's done now. Um, yeah, I don't know. I did got a new role at work. I have an employee now, which is a trip.
ooh, you.
Um, yeah, I mean, like, that's been pretty much it. I've been playing a little bit of WoW. I've been playing a little bit of Baldur's Gate. I got in D&D a bit. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of reaching around trying to find stuff to do while I, wait to get into 11th. Um, and see if world leaders can play the game.
Yeah, I am firmly determined to continue my what I've been doing for the last 2 years, which is not stepping outside of my list of armies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been very happy not doing that for a while, and so I'm really looking to keep it up because man, I think so like what I consider to be like my main armies are Tyranid, Space Marines, Emperor Children, and then I'm forced to acknowledge that that Astra Militarum on the list as well.
Yeah.
And the last time I took an army besides those to a tournament, we're coming up on 3 years ago
Yep.
because it was the first WTC of 10th edition. I
Custodes.
played Custodes, and fair enough. But in 10th edition, I've completely resisted the lure of oh I'll just play the broken thing,
Yep.
and I've been happier for that. And so
That's
we're gonna
fair.
try to keep it up for 11th edition. So spoiler alert for anyone who's trying to get the good intel on what I'm doing for WTC. Probably one of those four factions because I really don't want to do anything else.
I mean, yeah, I have what in my wheelhouse these days is really just like world leaders, CSMEC is like really the only things that I play, and Necron's IP is my version of your guard, I suppose. Um,
Yeah, forced to admit that it's there, not happy about it.
Not thrilled, but if Satans are bad, then I'm not even really a Necron player, so I kind of skate it, right? I'm like half a Necron player.
Fair enough.
I'll I'll play exactly one side of this faction.
The Catan side.
Yeah. I mean, I have a similar relationship with Drukhari, right? If Covens are good, I'm super excited about it. If it's basically anything else, I'm like, it's elves.
Yeah. So yeah, so what I've been doing for the past bit
Mhm.
is focused on just like trying to keep everything else in order, you know? Um so I've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of just like spending time with my wife Michaela. We've been playing a bunch of Slay the Spire. I have been painting a lot, just like accepting that the only armies that I'm like actively trying to get to be well painted armies are my Space Marines and my Emperor's Children. And so I've just been like alternating like painting units for those just to kind of keep it fresh of just getting like one of everything that I don't have, even if
Yeah.
I'm like not sure that I want it. Like it's like all right, paint the one defiler pretty because I'm probably gonna need one of those for a while apparently. Um, Apparently those are actually worth taking. And then also like painting some flawless blades. I don't really want, but like I don't have any painted flawless blades, so what are the odds that at some point John needs to have some flawless blades painted? Eh, pretty high. At some point, I'm going to need those. In this codex or the next, I will need a flawless blade eventually.
Yeah. I mean, look, we try and avoid them for so long, but if Games Workshop's going to choose to keep buffing them, then what's a man to do?
Yeah, I mean, there literally just has to be a points cost where I'm willing to take them, right?
I mean, you know, 80?
There just has to be a points cost where I'm willing to take them. I think 80 is it. GW, please.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Prevaricate for a moment. I got to get up for a second.
yeah, of course. Um, it's been fun trying to spend my free time doing other things purely for the sake of doing other things. That's been really nice just to get to spend the time on. And I'm I'm trying to have a nice fresh approach to actually the competing at WTC side of things, because that is always the struggle. Because last year there's a little bit of burnout, I think, going on for a lot of people on Team USA, where when we were by the time we were getting to the finish line, a lot of people were a little bit tired of it, and everyone is still excited, but it's understandable to, if you do something for too long, to get a little bit tired of it. And
I've returned.
oh, welcome back, welcome back. Talking about last year's burnout,
Uh,
how
yes.
dread it, run from it, it arrives.
Yep, if you're not careful about managing it, boy, it's tough.
Yeah, yeah, that's the. I mean, that really is just like the trick of it, right? Is that you need to stop it from happening and find a way to get excited again,
Yep.
which we do our best on. We
I
do our
mean, the
best.
break seems to be helping more than anything. I'm like, looking forward to the games to come rather than being like, "Ah, fuck."
Yeah, like, I'm really excited for the break to end now, and I'm sure it's one of those things where, like, uh, you're excited for it beforehand always, and then you get there and you're always gonna be a little bit less excited. But
Right.
like, I'm pretty excited about it at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from everything I hear, from everything I've seen, it seems like there'll be options at least, you know?
Ah, thank God for options, or the
Yeah.
emperor, whoever you want to thank, really.
Yeah, up to you. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the way things look so far for my armies that can play combined arms, so EC and CSM.
Mhm.
I'm less excited for mono melee, but I'm gonna be honest, as much as I don't think gun line, like mono gun line should work, probably that has to be true in the other direction, and therefore, please give us some flamers in World Leaders GW.
Maybe you'll get that as the special unit one day.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Fire of Corn's Forges or some shit.
Maybe get like a jump pack unit, maybe like a jump pack flamer. That right? That's all you want.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah,
check
yeah.
every
My
box.
my Vitrix guard is 3 wound jump pack guys with flamers and a chain axe.
Hmm. Yeah, it is weird that you don't have a chosen equivalent. You only have the
It's
you go
so
s-
weird, man.
yeah, you
There are
get
so many like
straight from Berserker to large.
yeah, it is there's not even like a specialist, right? Like all the other ones get like some form of like guy with a purpose.
Hmm.
Like your noise marine, the two different types of blight lord versus death shroud. I don't know. It's very odd with eaters that it's kind of just like berserker. By the way, only comes in 10 man question mark.
Yeah, that was weird. You guys never had a cultist, so it wasn't like as big of a deal, but that was always a little weird.
I mean, we have jackals, so like not we don't need a they don't have to be 10 mans.
Hmm.
At least give us the option. Fuck.
Yeah, maybe, but also consider maybe not.
Yeah, they went with not. I suppose.
Look, as a fellow, I don't have any cultist enjoyer. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you would think that at some point they would just give that to us.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can take cultists in EC, you just only can take them in Carnival.
Yeah, if that's what we're calling demonettes. I
Yeah.
mean, fair enough, right?
Dude, they're pretty similar.
They are. They're not as cheap, right? It's 90 points versus 50, but
That's true. And
you
the
know,
cultists will probably do about as many mortal wounds if you're willing to spend a command point on them.
that does actually feel accurate. Yeah.
The old explosives, dude. Just drop a grenade on them. It's fine.
Hmm. Oh man, I miss having grenades. I've been playing with like
Yeah.
units that don't have grenades recently. Playing some Tyranids, just
Oh,
as
that's
like a.
tough, dude.
I
Tyrant's
love.
gross.
Come on, I love me some Tyranids.
But like their 10th design is just so yucky.
Yeah, but like they're cool.
That's true. Objectively, correct. They just don't do the stuff the way I wish they did the stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, I mean, so far though, it's just like I don't know, just looking for the future. I'm really itchy for it at this point. It's been fun. I am now ready kind of vibes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's where a lot of us are at. It's certainly where I'm at. And we do have our really exciting practice weekend this year, which will be
We
fun.
we do have a really exciting practice weekend. So what we're doing for practice weekend this year is I think going to be really different from how we've done Team USA practice weekends ever before. I don't think we've ever quite done it this way.
We've definitely not done it as an event.
Yeah. So what we're doing for practice weekend this year is we're doing it at a different timing from last year, first of all. In the past we've done two practice weekends for Team USA, and we found that gathering people from around the country and making it a case of like you have to go to two practice weekends, it meant that a bunch of people would say I could only do one. And as
Yep.
soon as you say I can only do one, then no one's doing the same one,
Yep.
right? And then you would end up like not having the whole team together for anything. And that was really not good.
Yeah. I agree.
Um and so where we have kind of ended up now is that we're going to do one practice event same as we did last year, and we will have that practice event before list lock, whereas last year we had it after list lock, just because list lock is going to be a little bit later this year than it was last year. We didn't think it was practical to be able to do both, right?
Mhm.
Like it just like it's one of those things where like if we do it after the weekend after list lock, it's like great, spend one weekend traveling for Team USA, get back, and then 4 days later fly to Europe. And that was just like this is a little too much to ask.
It's too close.
It is it is entirely too close. So what we have done instead is we're doing a really fun little like Team USA retreat up in the Northeast, where we actually found a really sweet wedding venue at a very good price, thanks to Alec, and who I think is a friend of yours.
Yep.
And
Great friend of mine,
so
sponsor of the
we're going
team.
out to the Poconos in Northeast Pennsylvania, and we're gonna have a like a rented out, like think of like a classic like really like nice like farmhouse barn wedding, beautiful view of the of the trees, the rolling hills of green grass, not another house nearby. And we're gonna take this wonderful rustic venue and we're gonna shove about 8 tables of 11th edition into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
On
we're gonna
all
get after it.
Yeah, also we get to do it on the 4th of July weekend, which is just like a fun little like, oh cool, we get to do the America holiday. And
Yes,
like we weren't
together.
planning it this way, but we will do it this way.
Yeah, it's fun this way.
Mhm. So I think that'll also be really fun because we're gonna get to do a 4th of July. We're just doing it as a learn 11th edition together. Just like, all right,
Yep.
none of us actually know how this works yet. And so we just need to figure it out together. And
Yep.
that's like actually all that matters. So it gets to be a very different type of practice weekend than what we've done in the past. So I'm really excited for that because we're gonna have 16 people there. We're gonna have the whole starting roster, a couple more people. We're gonna have some coaches there as well. We're gonna have a bunch of armies, bunch of terrain, bunch of tables, and have just 72 uninterrupted hours of okay, let's actually learn how 11th edition works after everyone's had a couple of weeks to kind of do it independently.
Right.
And that I think it's gonna be a really fun little adventure for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple days, locked in, kind of like we don't normally do our practice weekends as for list design. We use them for opposition testing.
Mhm.
Um, which normally I would say is the better way to do it, but the timeline this year was just like you said, not so accommodating for that.
Yeah, I think I would probably prefer it that way. We haven't done it this way, so I right like we'll learn and we'll find out. But
Mhm.
generally speaking, I would say that I would probably prefer to do it such that we do the practice weekend after lists are live. But it is kind of fun to do it a different way, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it should be
So
fun. I think it'll be really enjoyable either way. It's just something we got to go extra hard on when we can is trying to like prep those opposition armies
yeah, well, that's yeah, that'll be a bunch of TTS grinding is what that's going to be. But
for
that
sure.
that is why that is like why we are taking this time off, is so that when the time comes to grind, we're just ready to grind.
Right. Right.
So yeah, and that's about where we are, right? We're just making ready. It's the calm before the storm. Hold your loved ones close, because right, we're
because it's
just
coming in.
yeah, it's coming. So we just have to be ready. So probably by the next time we put out an episode, we'll probably wait until 11th edition is out, and that'll be about a good time to do it. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So that means we'll see you next time. So for now, if you are looking for a nice wedding venue in Northeast Pennsylvania, check out Sylvan Ridge Farm. It is beautiful, and we'll probably find some pictures to take while we're there. I'm really looking forward to being there. It looks absolutely wonderful, and also I really like the idea of spending a weekend in July not in Florida.
Not in Florida is
I
tight.
love me some Florida. Don't get me wrong, but there is, there is a season
Yeah.
where it starts to get pretty warm, and we're about there. So I am personally prepared for I'm personally quite prepared to have a little bit of cooler weather ahead of me.
Right.
Alrighty. Well, that wraps us up for now. Check out the Team USA Patreon. If you want to support Team USA, if you just want to support the teams we get ready for our build up to WTC, that is the absolute best way to do it. And stay tuned because we'll be putting out another episode in about 2 weeks. Anthony, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one, guys.
Bye bye.